Mass can be measured and can be in various forms. When an object contains mass, we call it matter. Matter is something that you can touch and feel. Toast is a prime example of matter. Matter is what we are made out of, and mass is what warps spacetime. The warping spacetime creates a curvature, and that curvature keeps our feet on the ground. This phenomenon is what we call gravity. Gravity is explained by Einstein's general relativity. In the simplest form it states, space-time tells matter how to move, matter tells space-time how to curve. General relativity allows you to calculate space-time curvature at any point in space as long as you know a few things. You need to know the location, magnitude, and distribution of all masses in the universe. It seems like a lot, but you actually need just a little more. You need to know how these masses are moving and how they have moved over time, how all the underknown mass forms of energy are distributed, how the object that is being observed or measured is moving in a changing gravitational field, and how the spatial curvature is changing over time. With this data, you will be able to calculate the space curvature at any specific point you choose. That being said, you can imagine that general relativity is one of the biggest stepping stones for modern physics. But as time goes on, general relativity starts to fail to predict and explain things like quantum mechanics. That is, a field of physics that explains the universe on a scale of atomic and subatomic particles. This caused general relativity to lose the throne it had. That gave a group of people their confidence to challenge one of the fundamental theories of physics. They believed that Newton's theory of gravity was wrong, and so has Einstein's general relativity. They said that gravity doesn't exist, and they are all telling a lie. Yes, flat earthers are who I'm talking about. A group of people not only believe that Einstein was wrong, but also believes that Earth is flat. They believe that you can't warp or bend something that you can't see or feel. They call gravity a mythical force, that gravity is unreal and hard to believe that's what keeps us down to the Earth. That is false, and general relativity proves that. General relativity can perfectly explain the weak gravitational field, which is what our Earth, even our whole solar system, is considered. We can predict how the Earth orbits the Sun and how other planets orbit the Sun. By using the calculation in general relativity, we can predict their orbits. We can prove the prediction is right by observing the orbits. With those calculations and data, we can safely say that we do orbit the Sun and gravity does exist. Flat earthers frankly disagree with that. They can't really trust the data we observe, and they disagree with math or physics. They don't want to hear about math and physics because it's just calculations. And as we all know, calculations can't prove anything, obviously. The photos are fake, and NASA spends billions of dollars each year to tell a lie. A lie that is Earth being round and gravity is what keeps us down. Flat earthers believe that you can't warp or bend something that doesn't exist. If you can't see or feel it, it's not real. While that's not incorrect, it's a very vague understanding of the universe. Space is what allows matter to be, and time is what makes matter matters. Combine space and time, then matters exist. By warping or bending space-time, we have different zones of gravitational field and different speed of time. That is, compared to the observer's speed of time and the strength of the gravitational field that the observer is in. This means that time is different in all other planets, and when being around a mass like you and me, we can have different time zones even though it is unnoticeable. A great example of mass warped spacetime to create a different time zone will be a black hole. A black hole is a small volume of highly dense matter. This entity has extreme gravitational force that, when reaching a certain range in their gravitational field, lights can no longer escape. Because lights are not able to escape, time is stopped in the center of the black hole. You will never be able to reach the center of the black hole, just like your crush will never text you back. The strongest point flat earthers hold about Earth being flat and gravity doesn't exist is that water finds its own level. When water finds its natural spot, it sits flat, just like the Earth. And that proves Earth is flat because it looks flat. And that proves gravity is not real because waves and tides are simply not a thing. The so-called flat Earth is just somehow flat enough to create waves and tides by tilting. The natural principle they call that proves all globe earthers wrong. Yes, water sits flat, thus Earth is flat, and yet shows us that gravity does not exist either. I can sit here, tell you facts about general relativity and use its basic principle to prove gravity exists, and give examples after examples that gravity does exist. I can tell you with confidence that flat earthers are wrong, but I can't change their mind. The only thing that they want to believe is their own version of the story. The people who are willing to listen, I can show them how mass, warp space and time, and why gravity exists. To flat earthers, I can prove to them that gravity exists, but I can't make someone listen when they cover their own ears.